After 912 we have 915. And this stage is an interesting one. It's a big DPS check, but in a totally different way to other stages we've faced before. It's more so an AoE damage check than a single target one. So there are the 6 guys here that you have to kill. Then there are also 6 dudes that also come from behind during the fight. And this isn't a Saturday night out, so 6 dudes coming from behind is not a fun time in this scenario. But none of them actually have any abilities or anything interesting going on. It's just flat damage and health bars that you have to deal with. The Night King himself in this fight only has 2 abilities. One is a basic AoE damage pulse every 6 seconds, which also stuns cav units for a very long time, especially on such a short cooldown. So you sort of need to totally avoid cav units if at all possible in this fight, which means you need to adjust your formation compared to previous stages, given the prominence of the likes of Winton and Jean, and Enzo if you're using paid commanders. And then his second ability is one of these skill damage reduction buffs again, which you really need to get rid of to meet the DPS requirement since he has 750,000 health. But we don't want to use Winton because he's a cav, and therefore gets countered by the first ability, so we run Fias, because he has good AoE damage on his active, which fits the fight perfectly, and he has the buff removal there too. And here's the fight. The key here is to just spread your damage in the most efficient way possible. You have 12 units to kill, so when using something like your Sheila active, you don't want to use it on something that's just going to die over time regardless, to the full-on AoE abilities like Kravras and Obane's actives. So we use Feist's active on the Night King as soon as it's up to get rid of that skill damage reduction buff, and then we wait on the first Kravras active until the guys in the back walk out, and we then use it because they're then targetable. If you use it before that point, it won't do any damage on 6 people, which is a big waste. And then we just keep AoEing them down. We let the normal attacks knock down the frontliners in the first group, and we keep using the AoE actives and the guys in the back. I use Sheila's active every time on the Night King himself, just because everything else will die in time from the other stuff, so hitting him gets the most use out of it. You just need to make sure you remove his buff right at the start, and your formation needs to have a very specific commander in order to do that, in this case Feist. Arya is a free-to-play Theon replacement here really. She works well in this fight because of her passive ability that stacks her attack up when enemies die. And it's really easy to make use of that in this fight. When everything else dies, you should just be left with these bowmen and the Night King. Again, you just let the archers die to the AoE damage as much as you can. Keep focusing all your damage in the Night King. He does the pulsing AoE damage throughout the fight, but honestly it isn't that much. It's very easily manageable. Simon by himself makes it so no one is ever really at threat of dying. So this fight is really just about getting damage out there rather than staying alive. And that's 9:15. It's pretty simple, and you know it works, but it does require some fiddling with the formation to get it right, and if you don't have the right formation, you have no chance. But there you go. This you'll get it. Good luck. So 9:18 next.